is the time for strengthening.
Mr. Zelensky speaking last night. Well, I'm delighted to say that Yuriy is live on the line. He's an advisor to the Ukrainian Defence Ministry. Sir, thanks for coming on. First, why has Mr. Zelensky dismissed Alexei Reznikov at this moment? Is it some sort of criticism of the way the Ukrainian offensive has been handled?
Good afternoon, Rebecca. So the military tactics and strategy of the Ukrainian armed forces are decided not by the Ministry of Defense and the minister, but rather by the Ukrainian General Staff and the Commander-in-Chief. So that is out of the question, and that was not the reason. We Ukrainians, we regard ourselves nowadays, during this large-scale invasion, as one team that is driven by one goal, which is victory over the aggressor. And the captain of our team is Mr. Zelensky. So as a captain, he's best placed to make decisions about what is most beneficial for our country at this stage. He believes, as he said in his address last night, he believes that a new approach is needed at this stage of the war to how Ministry of Defense interacts with the military of Ukraine as well as with the civil society. So,
but I mean,
our president, and we move forward.
There has been suspicion, though, that at the root of this is some corruption within the department of the Ministry of Defence. What can you say about that?
Well, Mr. Reznikov, for the last 550 days of this large-scale invasion was going to bed and waking up with one and the same thought, which is how to defeat the enemy, how to make sure that the Ukrainian army is equipped with best weapons. And he actually has made impossible possible, right? From Stingers through heavy artillery to HIMARS systems, Patriot, and now we are expecting F-16s. So this was the major focus of Mr. Reznikov. But when he came to office in autumn of 2021, he came on the anti-corruption agenda. I know him very well personally, and he has zero tolerance to corruption. Certain of the anti-corruption reforms that he began with respect to the legacy that he inherited when he took the office, he didn't have time to follow through because the war began. He had to immediately refocus some of the activities and resources. So and in the last 6 months, of course, there have been some allegations of inappropriate activities and corruption with regards to procurement system. And, the response was immediate. I mean, those bad apples within the system of the Ministry of Defense who allegedly were behind those are now under investigation. Mr. Reznikov, he actually set up the special anti-corruption body inside the Ministry of Defense, the Office of Support of Reforms, headed by Yulia Marushevska, prominent civil activist, has been set up. So a lot of things have been done, and we are confident that Mr. Rustam Umerov, who will succeed now Mr. Reznikov, will just continue on the path of transformation and transparency.
So you do acknowledge then that there has been issues with corruption within the department. As you say, there have been a number of quite high-level sackings, hasn't there, regionally within Ukraine? And you mentioned there that Mr. Reznikov's main job has been to kind of get Western support, really. You mentioned the man that replaces him, Rustam Umerov. What can you tell us about him and his background?
Mr. Umerov is a super efficient type of modern Ukrainian politician. He's a very well experienced manager when it comes to governing complex processes with a lot of people. So we are confident that he will come with his own new vision, but he will continue. Our goal is to win the war and join NATO. So when it comes to the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Umerov's task and objective will be again to continue the reforms that have been started by Mr. Reznikov and to continue to on the path to NATO and victory.
Yuriy, we did have quite a big attack on the ports around Ismail on the River Danube last night. Quite a lot of damage, I understand, to that. What can you tell us about the situation there, about the grain depots there?
Two-thirds of the Shahed drones that were launched last night were actually shot down by the Ukrainian air defense systems. As you know, a couple of these drones fell actually on the Romanian territory, which is NATO country. So this is just another night of drone terror by the Russian Federation. Perhaps it's not a coincidence that it happened just before the accused war criminal is meeting Mr. Erdogan in Turkey today.
Yeah.
I mean, the leader of Russia, of course. So they are just, they just can't forgive Ukrainians for being inventive. Look, we have found ways now to, carry some of the wheat and grain from our southern ports through different ways. So they are, just attacking now the infrastructure on Danube River.
Yuriy Sak, thank you so much for joining us live there. Yuriy Sak, advisor to the Ukrainian Defence Ministry. And he mentioned one of those explosions from the drone said to have been reported to have been on Romanian territory, Romania being a NATO member. Of course, the Romanian government, though, I should say, is denying that the explosion happened on their land.